Morning, friends. Ash here, WAT News, doing a brief election update. It's Saturday, November 21st, 2020. I wanted to cover this article real quick because I think it got lost in the shuffle about Virginia. With all the stuff going on about Georgia and other states, no one's talking about really Virginia, but that moment in Virginia at 5:12 a.m. when they took 373,000 votes off the state rolls by Jim Hoft. This article came out November the 9th, 2020. Data scientist Sarah Eaglesfield was tracking the vote counts in Virginia in real time on election night and into the following morning. Eaglesfield noticed a glitch in the Virginia vote counting. At 5:12 a.m., the state lost 169,000 votes. From 5:07 a.m. to 5:12 a.m. in the morning, President Trump was smashing expectations and liberal media predictions in the state on election night. That was all solved at 5 a.m. And they have vote totals here. You can see timestamps, and the vote total was 3,572,807 at 5:07 a.m. By 5:12 p.m., the total was 3,199,165. So where did all those votes just disappear to, right? Where'd they go? We don't know. But this woman noticed something, and she's been watching it live time through the evening. Isn't that amazing how that worked out? And we are the only ones to notice that the computer counting glitches only favored Democrats and Sleepy Joe. Software glitch going on here in Virginia, 4:42 a.m. We've counted 3,368,181 votes. 5:12 a.m. Wait, no, we've only counted 3,199,165 votes. Sarah Eaglesfield. Sarah Eaglesfield even tweeted about democracy in America being at stake. Unpopular opinion roundoff. I've always loved Joe Biden, but didn't feel he was the right pick this time. Not 100% convinced. Any party wanting democracy should be very concerned about what we've uncovered today, and please do fact check the data. If we could see what this picture is, it's the same photo that she posted. See if it'll come up. I don't know. Did they take it down? Did Twitter take it down? No. Here's Sarah Eaglesfield right here. Software glitch going on here in Virginia. November the 8th, 2020. This claim about fraud is disputed. Sorry, not disrupted. But this is from the 8th, so maybe this is, shouldn't it be the 4th, 3rd? I don't know. Maybe she didn't find out the data till later. But here's the data right here. You see it. 3,572,807, and then it drops 3,199,165. Something's going on, right? So that was one part of it I wanted to cover. The other thing is I'm noticing another trend, which is that all these news people who you thought were sort of one-way people and were looking into the news in one way are now turning. And Tucker Carlson is probably one of them for sure, and basically Fox News. I mean, I've seen two or three different anchors from that network who I thought were sort of Trump supporters, or at least on one side of the fence on it, turn. And I'm definitely seeing that with Tucker, with the Sidney Powell thing. And Sidney Powell is the type of person, I don't think she's a bluffer. You know, she doesn't bluff. If she's got the goods, she's got the goods. But why would she give you all the goods that she has when she's about to go into the biggest trial that she's ever seen, probably, and a trial that's for basically the future of our republic? And Tucker wants her to come out and spill all the information that she has on his show. It doesn't work like that, okay? and any journalist should know that. So uh, the fact that he wanted her to come on and give information out that he knows that she's not allowed to give him, if she's going to want to use it in a court of law later. You can't use information that you've spilled to the whole country before you've actually shown it to the court. So the fact that Tucker wants her to come on so bad is showing me that he's a sleeper, and he was left there, and he wouldn't be activated until after this whole fucking election thing got messed up. That's my opinion on it. You don't just turn overnight like that. And so that's my take on these news people. They were plants all along. They were sleepers that were going to be used in a sort of a situation like this where they're in trouble, right? In other words, I said this several times, and I said it about the 2016 election. You can't rig a blowout. You can rig it if it's a regular election where both sides are in on the rig. And that's what you realize had gone on in every presidential election, probably throughout our whole lives, going back to all the way back to maybe even Kennedy. Um, because even the Kennedy race, there was allegations that certain districts were used, organized crime figures were in Chicago used certain districts to make sure that Kennedy got enough vote to win, and that was the closest election ever. So if that is in question, and the '68 election, if you look into, and I did a little video about, is also in question, and you have now many races in the world that you could look back at and say, well, how do I know this was fair, right? How do I know Obama really did beat Romney? And if you saw some of Trump's tweets from 2012 that people went back and looked up, he was talking about the vote switching back then. You can go look up his 2012 tweet about it. And basically it says votes are switching from Romney to Obama. Watch the machines. That was 2012. So Trump knew. He knew a long time ago that this system was corrupted. And anybody that's grown up in the United States and has seen some of the elections that we've been through in our lifetimes, you can't have a sense that this is a fair process. I never have. And anybody that looks at it logically with an open mindset would probably see the same. And now you have a system that was put in place in many swing states, of course, that is completely corrupt. That security is suspect at best, and it has many different avenues that you can get into these machines, whether it's through the internet, if it's connected, or memory stick, and there's not much physical security itself around these machines, right? So that's why they did it, right? Because they didn't just need to switch 3% off the top. That wasn't going to be enough to fix this thing. That's how many people were going to vote for Trump. So they had to employ maybe as many as 3 to 5 different scams to do this. That's what my research has shown. Vote switching, you had to put fake ballots into the process. That's 2. You had to throw certain ballots away and dispose of them like that. That's 3. You have poll watchers not being allowed into. You have people in the polls themselves, the poll workers in on it. In some places, it appears to me, physically not letting Republican poll watchers close enough, moving the counting into areas of the counting center where you cannot be seen. Right? We saw people in basements doing this, unsupervised, with no watchers at all. So that's like 4, right? How many do I need to show you? 5, 7? You're switching votes automatic in the machines throughout the election as well, on top of the 3% thing that you could do. So if it's possible they did a 3% on top and realized, oh, that's not going to do it now. He's ahead big in Wisconsin. We gotta make a call. We gotta freeze this thing, and we gotta get somebody with a high-speed printer to start printing these things up en masse. And that's why one of the people who an affidavit was taken by a poll watcher said she saw ballots that were perfect, that looked like they had been unhandled, not even folded. So if it wasn't folded, then was it in the envelope? if it's just a straight piece of paper without a fold that appears in a pile somewhere. So you have as many as 4 to 5 maybe different scams going on in the same election that I could see. And then smaller things like people just forgetting to maybe add certain votes in Georgia. I mean, there was 2 people fired in Georgia now, and 2 people are leaving in Georgia, taking their 2-week, giving 2 weeks notice to leave. So that's 4 different people in the state of Georgia alone that have either been removed for not doing their job well, correctly, or for possible malfeasance. And then you also have these 2 other people that are leaving of their own accord, apparently, right in the middle of an election runoff, basically. So, Georgia looking highly suspicious. Now you have possible Virginia issue. You have votes that also appeared in Michigan in the middle of the night, is the allegation, right? Rolled in suitcases. And in Wisconsin, you have an allegation that more people voted in certain counties, I think, than there are people in those counties. And that's not the only place that allegation has come. So that would be the 5th thing. You have dead people on the rolls still that are voting, and you also have people voting that are either being maybe possibly bussed in, or people that have moved to another state, like in Nevada, for instance, but still are getting the Nevada ballot and voting in the state of Nevada while they live in another state. So really, it's like 6 different, maybe more, maybe 5 provable things that they could probably prove. I mean, the vote switching's caught. That's on film. You can't erase that. You know what I mean? You can't go back in time and erase it. It's there. It's seen. People know it. And the fact that all these press people, like in Fox, and I wanted to show this one last clip, because you will be able to see in this clip, which is of Vice President Pence yesterday, I think it was, or the other 2 days ago, after his coronavirus briefing, he took no questions, and just listen to the rabid, animalistic way that these press people attack him on his way out. I'll just play it and I won't say nothing.
Thank you. Mr. President, are you really not going to take all of you need to answer this.
Why is the federal
What is going on? And you're not working with the transition. You're all part of not recognizing democracy. You're all undermining the democratic election. Every one of you.
Why is the federal
And you won't work with the transition.
Okay. Well, that was normal, right? I mean, you won't work with the transition. Why are you stopping democracy? I mean, these people are losing their shit, literally. Why? Because their whole system is coming down. And if you notice, the executive order, right? A lot of these people are not going to be in their jobs in the future, is my guess. Especially if you knowingly misinformed people, like, say, Chris Cuomo, right? People like that. They're not going to be there anymore because you broke the law, right? You misinformed the public during an election process where this emergency order EO was in place that Trump put. And I guess they just missed the fine print of that, because it lays out fairly clearly that, if you're a press person and you're a foreign owned company and you're in the United States and you're misinforming our populace on purpose during our election process, you're going to pay a price for that. You can't come into a country, willingly misinform the people with propaganda and misinformation and disinformation, and then expect that you're just going to get away clean and be able to profit in this country going forward. That's what that executive order is about. And anybody else that helped along, they're going to also have a price to pay, because you can't do that. The press has a responsibility to the public to tell us the truth. That's what you're there to do. Inform the public and tell us the truth. And you have a responsibility to do so. And when you willingly shirk that responsibility and misinform the public on purpose because your corporate masters told you to do so, you're breaking the law. And you should be punished. That's my opinion, and you're welcome to yours. So with that, we'll keep an eye out on everything. Georgia recertified apparently and then had to decertify. So we're not sure if Georgia did decertify or certify that. The last thing I read was that they did certify it, but I don't see how they could with that many issues going on. And you have several officials now that have been terminated, and some are leaving. And I think that'll continue in some other states when more of this malfeasance comes out. So with that, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see how the news plays out next week. We're waiting on some court hearings to get to be escalated up to the Supreme Court, and that's what we're in the process of doing right now. And if you watch that news conference with Giuliani, it was devastating because he showed they try to say he has no evidence, but he says I have hundreds of affidavits. That means that a person swore under oath that what they're saying is true. So if he has hundreds of them, that's evidence. That's evidence that you could put into a court of law and show to a judge. So I don't know why people in the press don't seem to understand that. I don't think they want us to understand it because affidavits are evidence. So evidence that could be used in a lawsuit. And with that, we'll see how everything plays out. I hope you're well. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Ash, WAT News, signing off.